really don't. My blog talk, my podcasting site is messed up. The platform that I record on isn't recording. So we're just gonna do the Facebook Live probably. Can't call in for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Why you mad there? Why you mad then, Heshawn? Don't be mad. We're going live in a minute. Give me a mad face on the... Oh, there we go. All right. What's up, Facebook? Welcome to the OST, the Opinionated Sports Talk Show with your boy Brian. We live. We got a lot of stuff to cover. NBA draft. I'm gonna talk about the Patriots, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the New York Giants. I'm gonna talk about the NBA draft, the NBA playoffs. Cleveland just won in overtime. Well, now we're live on the podcast side here, so. There you go. Now you can see my Twitter handle. My screen's a little flat. Let me turn this up a little like that. A lot of stuff going on. All right. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me on Facebook, live on Facebook, the OST, the Opinionated Sports Talk Show, debate, dispute, controversy with your boy Brian. Tweet at me at your boy Brian25. I was having a little technical difficulties, but good. Like I said, we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. Cleveland just won Game 1 against Toronto in overtime fashion. I'm going to talk about Westbrook, how that guy's no self-control on and off the court, the problems that they have in OKC. I'm going to talk about the Warriors and all the playoff teams. I'm going to give you my input, what I think about that. We also going to talk about the NFL draft, winners, losers, who's doing good, who's doing all that stuff. So, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Let's start. Let me put that to the side there. Let me say thank you to Guru Energy Drink, organic energy drink. Everything's organic. It gives you a good boost of energy with no crash. Guru, check them out. Good energy drink. I'm gonna have one now on there. Anyway, let's start with the NBA playoffs. They're rolling right now. Game 2 of the Warriors and Pelicans are going right now. I think Golden State is going to be too much for New Orleans. Even though New Orleans with AD, Anthony Davis, that's a strong team, defensive team, big team, but they just can't keep up with the pace of the Warriors. I don't think no one can right now. The Rockets are going to be the only ones when they meet that's going to be a little bit of a issue for the Warriors. I think that New Orleans is just, they look like they're really struggling. They couldn't find any rhythm in the first game against the Warriors. That's without Steph Curry. Steph Curry's back tonight. I would have told Steve Kerr and the Warriors organization, don't even play him till, they needed to or they lost. I would want this guy healthy, 100% ready to play. I wouldn't want him at 90%. I wouldn't want him 80%. I wouldn't want Curry at 100%. I know 90% Curry is a lot better than a lot of players at 110%. I know. But this Curry gives me the jitters. He makes me nervous a lot. The guy gets injured a lot. He has a lot of tendency. That's what you get when you have a small 6'1", 6'2" full guard, moves around a lot. But New Orleans, I just think they're a very good team. I thought with Anthony Davis and Boogie, who is not playing, I thought they would give the Warriors a little bit of a problem. They seemed to give them a little bit of problem during the season, but game 1, they absolutely just blew them out. Klay Thompson was on fire. Draymond Green, I'm going to say this now, mark my words, May 1st, 2018, on the podcast, live on Facebook, your boy Brian said it. Draymond Green's going to win it. He's going to win an MVP some year. I think that guy's a fantastic player. All he needs to do is score a little bit more, and he will be... A guy almost had a double-double in the first quarter last game. He's a great distributor. He sees the court very well. He handles the ball very well. He rebounds. You already know about his defense, and I just think that he's going to be an MVP sometime. He's hot-headed and temperamental, and he needs to relax sometimes. But I strongly believe this guy's going to be an MVP sometime. Curry comes back tonight. I would have used him sparingly. They said that they're not going to put him on a minute restriction. I know he's been playing 5-on-5 games, but it's different when you play 5-on-5 real basketball and 5-on-5, with your teammates in practice. It's a whole different state. But I just think Golden State's this one's gonna end in 5 as well. New Orleans may steal one in New Orleans, but I think the Warriors will win tonight. I don't know if it'd be another blowout, but there's a good chance it could be. I just see the Warriors being too fast for them. They're just moving too quick for them. The game is just way too fast for New Orleans. I like New Orleans. I think they're a very strong team, and they have a good chance. If they weren't playing the Warriors, I would see them advancing. The team that I do see the Warriors giving the Warriors problems would be Houston. Now, James Harden should win MVP. He's a great player. He moving the ball. But I just think the Warriors are just too stacked. I know I'm wearing the city stuff, and I'm a Warriors fan. There's no doubt about it. I'm biased. But I'm keeping, I keep them 100, and I keep the facts to what they are. The Rockets, man, they're really in rhythm right now. After the first 2 games against Minnesota, where they kind of see the struggle, they had sloppy wins the first 2 games, but they really got in rhythm now. Harden hit 27 threes in postseason so far, and that's an incredible record, and that's an incredible shooting. That's going to give the Warriors a little bit of problem, but I just see the Warriors being too much for Houston. I like Houston. Utah is a defensive team. They're big. They're kind of clunky. They're the big, strong guys. They play great half-court defense. They play really. They're really together when they play. There's a lot of cohesiveness going on with them. Is that a word, cohesiveness? I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made one up if not. They wear down teams. They wear down players. They play great defense. If they can somehow slow down James Harden, Chris Paul, a little bit aging, so slowing him down may be a lot easier than slowing down James Harden. If you can slow down or get James Harden out of his game, I think that there'd be a good a chance for them to pass into the next round if they could beat Houston. They give Houston. I still see Houston taking it in 6 games, but I just think if Donovan Mitchell, I think he would be the game changer. He would be the game changer, I should say. I don't see Utah beating Houston, but I see them giving Houston a little bit of problem. And I think if they play great defense, if they somehow slow down Harden, if they got Harden to, take a lot of shots and miss a lot of shots, have him only shoot maybe 40 from the field, keep his 3-point attempts down, I see them having a chance in winning a game or 2, especially in Utah. They have a great defensive team. Now, over to the East, I think, I think Philly's going to be the team to beat. I really do. I think this team, Ben Simmons is playing really good. That front court with Joel Embiid is really solid. Probably one of the better ones in the East, in the NBA, I would say. But Boston, I thought Boston would be hands down winners of the Eastern Conference this year. But then they lost Hayward opening day. All right, that's kind of deterred me a little bit. And then Kyrie just took over the team, and he just really made that team. I don't know. He brought this energy. He brought this leadership. He really brought this team together, and they were on a roll. Now no Kyrie. Now Boston played good in the first round. Al Horford, that guy played phenomenal. He averaged over 18 points per game. He had 8.7 rebounds a game. He shot 43.8, almost 44% for the three-point line. He shot almost 59% from the field. I just think that Boston is a good team. I had them. I mean, without Kyrie though, and without Jason, I know Hayward was been gone the whole season, but without Kyrie, that just really deflated this team. It really brought Jason Tatum would need to step up. Smart would need to play smart and step up his game as well, I would think. But I just see the 76ers being the team in the East. I like Toronto chances against LeBron and the Cavaliers, but Cavaliers, if they want to take this series, they won game one today already in overtime, which I am going to change the channel on. 1 second there. But I just think if Cleveland wants to beat Toronto, which I think they should, it'll probably be another 7 games. He's going to need help from the bench. Not from the bench. He's going to need help from the whole team. You know, Kevin Love needs to step up his game. He needs to improve on his game. Tristan Thompson's back, and he's playing good. He needs to step up his game. You know, everyone hates LeBron. Everyone makes excuses why they hate LeBron. Well, he's not clutch. Well, he flops too much. People, you know, that's all. You know, people say they're not haters. You're a hater if you say that. If you hate LeBron James because he flops, you're a hater. Everybody in the NBA flops, even your favorites, even great old Jordan, Ewing, all those guys flopped at one time or another. It's just part of the game. That's just the way it is. But I think if Cleveland wants to win this series against a very good Toronto team, a very hot Toronto team, with Lowry and DeRozan playing really good at this time, they're going to have to. LeBron's going to need help. Kevin Love's going to need to step up his game. These guys are going to need help if they want to win the East. The Cleveland looks. They don't look as dominant as they always have been. They weren't. Same with the Warriors. They didn't look as dominant as they were. They were the number 2 seed in the West. But Cleveland, you know, with LeBron James, everyone talks about how good LeBron James is and how he's, you know, the man of the hour and how people seem to put him. Well, there's people that put him on a pedestal and there's people that put him in the toilet. There's no middle ground. Me, I'm not even a LeBron fan. I just speak the truth. And LeBron is the best player in the game. The guy plays the most minutes, playing in the league for 15 years, never retired, like your mighty Michael Jordan who retired and then came back, who got on some fresh legs, who has a better playoff record than LeBron James. But I just think that if Cleveland wants to win this, they're just going to have to step up the game. They're going to have to really help LeBron. People always talk about the help that they have and who helps them and who doesn't help them. And LeBron's going to need help. LeBron's going to need help from this team. Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, they all need to help LeBron. Now, Toronto has a very, very good chance of beating him. I would not. This series I see going 7, and I give the edge to Cleveland mainly because of LeBron. But Kyle Lowry, he needs to keep playing at a high level like he is. He needs to keep playing at a fast pace. DeRozan, same thing. They just need to keep this momentum going over there in Toronto if they want to get a chance to. I think this series here, the Toronto Cleveland series will probably go 7, but I'm giving the edge to Cleveland because of LeBron James alone. I see the Houston game going 5, maybe 6 if Utah can pull 1 or 2 games and defensively keep James Harden, keep his shooting down, keep his percentage down. I see them possibly winning 2 games. The Warriors, I see absolutely destroying New Orleans. New Orleans may steal a game. Curry's back. I just think it's going to be another kind of series that we're all going to say, told you. Even though the Warriors didn't win the West, they weren't number 1 seed, they're still the best team right now. They're still the top dogs. They're still the champions, and teams need to beat them. The Boston-Philly season, I think Philly, with Ben Simmons playing the way he is, with Joel Embiid coming back, taking that Transformer mask off his face, and playing the way he is, this team's young. Marquez Fultz could be a factor in this game, in this series. If he wants to make a name for himself, this is the time to do it. I just see Philadelphia being the team to beat. I seen Philadelphia. I had Boston earlier in the season, but I stepped away from that when Kyrie went down. Without Kyrie, that team has been deflated, and you just can't seem to get the ball rolling. Now, we all saw what happened with good old triple-double MVP. People love this Russell Westbrook guy. Russell Westbrook, triple-doubles. I'll said it before, and I'll say it again. Triple-doubles are like a 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL now. Man, they're good. They're just not great. It's like the 30-30 club in baseball. 30 home runs, 30 steals. It's great, but it's just a common thing. It's not as publicized and not as great as it used to be. Now, I know there hasn't been a lot of people averaging triple-doubles up to the last 2 seasons, except good old Russell Westbrook. But I think Russell Westbrook, we all would agree that this guy is a me first, team second player. And I think a lot of people would agree that this guy is he with that attitude of me first, team second, he seems to pad a lot of stats. He seems to roll with a lot of stats on his side. Like, let me get this extra rebound. Let me just pad this up. So, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm seeing. That's my opinion on debate, dispute, controversy, the OSC, the Opinionated Sports Talk Show. Find the podcast on iHeartRadio and iTunes, soon to be on Spotify too. But we all saw what happened with Russell Westbrook and that fan. Now, of course we weren't there. Of course we didn't see it. We only go by what was said by Westbrook, and he said that he disrespected him on top. It was really, for me, it's really hard to say that's what happened. Just due to the fact that it didn't seem like he had enough time to run his mouth as much as Westbrook was complaining. Personally, I think with that attitude of me first, team second, he kind of, I would say, was in a bad mood, was sad or mad or whatever you want to say, because they were pretty getting beat. This guy has no self-control on the court, off the court. Being MVP, the reigning MVP, being in a small market like Oklahoma and being in the playoffs and being as good as Russell Westbrook is, he's got to be able to take it. You got to have tough skin. You cannot let a fan who's filming you, even if he said anything about, I don't care if he said something about your mama, you just can't do that. If he would have broke his phone, the guy could have claimed he broke his finger, had been traumatized, and there would have been a big lawsuit. Trust me, unfortunately that's how America rolls. They seem to find a way to get money, So I just think that Russell Westbrook needs to calm down. He needs to figure out how to win games with good players. He played with Kevin Durant for many years, got to 1 finals and they lost. Was in the playoffs a lot, could not win. He had what they call the OK3. they were the 4th seed. They had 48 wins. Russell Westbrook, to me, is never going to win unless he learns a lesson. He learns how to become a team player. Someone like him will never play for a coach like Steve Kerr, Popovich. These are the type of coaches that would not allow this this type of player on their team. Now, I think taking 43 shots in Game 7 kind of shows that what kind of player he is. And when he was taking all those shots last year, people were, well, he's the only one on the team. He has to carry this. He didn't have to do that this year. He had overrated Carmelo Anthony on that team, who can score, who actually didn't score 1 point in this playoff in the 4th quarter. He had Paul George. Paul George is a good player. I don't know if he's a superstar or a great player, but he's a good player. He's a good, solid player. Wouldn't mind having him on. When he gets on a team, the teams get better. Look what he did in Indiana and what he did in OKC. But I just don't know if Russell Westbrook has enough self-control, enough if he's okay being the Robin to the Batman kind of thing to win. I just don't see him winning. That's the problem. That's the issue I have with Westbrook. His athleticism, his heart, his emotions, all that is incredible. I like watching the guy play. But I don't like watching the guy play because I know that he's taking 43 shots. I know he's, me first, team second. And when you pop off at fans, it's not a good look. Like I said, when you're a public figure like that, when you're an MVP in the NBA, which is a star-driven league, you can't pop off on players like that. And Russell Westbrook, it was just not a good look for him. He's too much. That OK3 thing failed. The experiment of the OK3 with Melo and Paul George and Russell Westbrook, absolute disaster. Westbrook is going to be alone again. Paul George is going to bail. He's going to go to probably the Lakers or the Clippers. He's not going to want to play there. They did not win. If they would have went to the finals or at least to the Western Conference Championship, that might have influenced them a lot. They're not going to be able to afford him either because of the 5-year extension that they gave Westbrook last year. This season was kind of like a second chance for Russell Westbrook to get to the finals. They gave him good players, good surroundings. He got a good coach over there. This is a second chance. And he just kind of blew it. Paul George's numbers are all down from last year. I knew at least, that his shooting percentage would go up and his points would go down. When you're playing with better players, you get more open shots. You get more chances that are uncontested shots when you have better players around because the defenses are not able to focus on you. So you have that opportunity to open up more. So his points this year, he averaged 27.3 points this year. Last year he averaged 28. I knew that would happen. Like I said, his field goal percentage would be up. He averaged 45.5% from the field this year. Last year he averaged 38.6. But all his other 3-point percentage, rebounds, assists have gone all down. And they didn't win the finals. They didn't even get to the Western Conference Championship. And I just see that being the straw that broke the camel's back, and why Paul George is going to end up in LA, where he's from or where he's already said he wanted to play. So Westbrook, I'm going to say it now, I said it before, he's not going to win a final. He'll never be a champion unless he learns how to get some self-control. And he doesn't take 40-something shots when you have 2 or 3 other superstars, or even if you have 1 other superstar. You just can't do that. You need to spread. Look at the Warriors. Since Steve Kerr stepped in, they've led the NBA in assists, in team assists. These guys just spread the ball around. Every player is okay to being the Robin to the Batman. No one, with Kevin Durant joining this team, with Curry, with Green, with Clay Thompson. They're all okay not being the spotlight of the team. Westbrook doesn't work for Westbrook that way. He has to be the spotlight. No self-control, and he won't win a championship until they do that. Thank you guys for joining my OST dispute, controversy. Tweet at me at yourboybrian25. So that's the playoffs, NBA playoff stuff. NFL draft happened, and it was a decent draft. I'm a big draft fan. I actually I'll get popcorn, get my beer ready, whatever, get my little snacks, and I'll watch the draft. I'll watch the whole first 2 rounds. Third, fourth, I really don't care less about, even though that seems to be where the good players have come out lately. But this draft was interesting. 4 quarterbacks drafted in the top 10. First time that's ever happened. There was a lot of linemen drafted this year. But there's questions that I have. Did Cleveland do the right thing getting Baker Mayfield? Did the Patriots do enough to solidify that defensive issue that they had last year? I know they got a quarterback later in the rounds from LSU. In the 7th round, they went and got Danny, how do you say his name? Etling, quarterback out of LSU. We'll touch about that a little bit. The 49ers, people were, even me being a 49er, I was a little surprised on the pick that they got, but I started thinking about it, and it seemed to be the right pick. I think the teams that got better were the New York Giants, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, possibly the Jets. A lot of quarterbacks went to the East, the AFC East, because of the aging Tom Brady. It's funny how this league revolves around the Patriots and Belichick and Tom Brady and Robert Kraft and all this stuff happened. Sam Darnold to the Jets. What's his name? Went to the Bills. Let me get to that pick here. They got Tannehill over there in Miami. Tannehill's a decent player. He needs to get some help. So a lot of teams went quarterback in the East because of Tom Brady. The Tom Brady Belichick era is almost over. Now the question I asked is, here we go. I have my notes everywhere. Sit and write these things. The AFC went quarterbacks. Brady being 41 years old. Question I asked is, did the Patriots do enough to solidify and fix and repair and help that defense that they had last year? They had one of the worst defenses in the league. But when you have a team that puts up 40 points a game, but we know defense wins games. Look what happened in the Super Bowl. They went offensive tackle the first pick. They went with a running back, which I feel they needed in New England. They haven't had a solid running game they can really trust since Corey Dillon, I believe. I know LeGarrette Blount was pretty good, and they had decent running backs, but they never had the go-to running back like Corey Dillon like they had. But, then they went defense. The next 3 picks were a cornerback, an inside linebacker, outside linebacker. But we're talking about later in the rounds. We're talking the 56th pick overall, the 143rd pick overall, the 178th pick. And I'll tell you right now, New England fans, they have this motto, which we used to have here in San Francisco when Harbaugh was coaching, was believe in Belichick. When Belichick makes a move, there's a reason why he made the move. Why did he get rid of Garoppolo? Well, he got a good pick out of that. He got to trade some picks there, so it was a reason why he did it. Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Brissett, they traded him. They traded 2 young, talented quarterbacks who were now starting in the NFL. Well, Jacoby's only starting because Andrew Luck is hurt, but I like Jacoby. I think I actually thought at one time that he was going to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He still may be in the wrong system. Quarterbacks need to play for the right coach and in the right system, be in the right surroundings. It's a team sport. It's just not one player. But they seemed to go defense. Then they went wide receiver, and then they went to quarterback from LSU in the 7th round. And also in the 7th round, they got a tight end, which makes me wonder. Gronk is young. Why they get a tight end? Why are they worried about tight end? There was rumors that Gronk wasn't happy this year because of his contract. He saw all these wide receivers. Gronk deserves it. I believe a player should get their money from the ownership. But I just don't know if New England did enough on that defense side of the ball. With these quarterbacks going into the East, Tom Brady, over 40 years old, he wants to play for another 2 years, which it seems like it's plausible with this guy. I just don't know if they did enough to stop these other teams that are, especially in your division. Now, I know Sam Darnold's a few years out. I know Buffalo, who I cannot remember what quarterback they got. Let me go through my notes here. But it's a situation that anyway, I'll talk about it later. I just didn't seem like they did enough on a defense, in my opinion. The defense, defense wins championships. Now, Tom Brady's and Belichick's model right now is let's keep rolling with Brady. Let's keep putting up 40-plus points and make the other teams, let them score 38. Let them score 35. We'll put up 40, 42. And that's a good system, and it's been working for them. They got to the Super Bowl last year, the Super Bowl 2 years in a row with bad defenses. But at some time, I said this before, at some time they're going to need to look beyond life without Tom Brady. Now, I don't know if the LSU quarterback Danny Etling, E-T-L-I-N-G, Etling, I don't know if he's going to be the answer. It's yet to be seen. Or Belichick got something up his sleeve. He's going to make a late-season trade, in a mid-season trade. Is he, who knows with Belichick and Robert Kraft over there. But I always say this to Patriots fans. The Patriots are an injury away from becoming one of the worst teams in the NFL. If Tom Brady gets hurt, knock on wood, New England fans, that he doesn't get hurt. They lose Tom Brady, that whole team is shot. They have a bad defense. They have no quarterback that can step in and that's proven that could win games right now. Brian Hoyer, we all know what kind of player he is from here in San Francisco. But they don't have any plans, it seems like, or Belichick's not revealing any of his plans yet, what they're going to do if Tom Brady gets hurt. Knock on wood, he doesn't, but I'm just saying, they're one injury away from becoming one of the worst teams in the NFL, probably. I just see, without Tom Brady being the captain of that team and leading that team, I just see them with no heir apparent to take over for Tom Brady, no one waiting in the wings for him. I just see them, with a horrible defense, just becoming one of the worst teams in the NFL. But yet to be seen. Like I said, people in New England say, trust in Belichick. And, that's what people seem to do over there. We had a thing, Warrior family says, trust in Kerr. If he makes a move, well, we believe there's a reason why he made the move. Don't forget to check out Guru Energy Drink, all organic, long-lasting energy with no crash. Now let's go in order here. I got ahead of myself and talked about the Patriots. Did Cleveland make the right move? Did Cleveland make the right move in getting Baker Mayfield? It was a total shock. I did not see it coming. A lot of networks and NFL network experts and draft experts never saw that coming. I just find it Cleveland botching the quarterback draft again. Johnny Manziel botched. They should have went with the best player on the board, the best athlete on the board, and get either Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. Those are the quarterbacks that would have, I thought or think, would have been better quarterback in a Cleveland situation. And the reason why is Baker Mayfield, he's a walk-on. He's a little bit risque with his attitude and the way he had a little bit of problems in the season, during the season, with the press and people and fans and all that stuff. And he's only 6 feet tall. Now I know people are going to say Russell Wilson, successful, 6 feet tall, Drew Brees, Hall of Famer. That's only 2. Keep going. Keep naming me some quarterbacks that are 6 feet tall, 6'1", that are absolutely successful. Now, you remember playing in the city of Cleveland. Cold, wet, snow, heavy, and you have a 6-footer running that offensive team. It just doesn't seem to be the right pick. Baker Mayfield shouldn't have been the number 1 pick. It was a total surprise. I think he should have fell down in the draft. I think he probably could have ended up in the top 15, but I didn't see him going number 1 pick overall. I like the number 2 pick, though. I like Cleveland's number 2 pick. Denzel Ward, number 4 pick overall at Ohio State. 5'10", 187 pounds. The guy's fast. He's a lockdown corner. But why did they pass up on Nick Chubb? Again, they went with a great player, a great college player that Philly needs, but they didn't go with the best player available. Now, I asked you this question. Tweet at me at OST Podcast BB. I'm sorry. Tweet at me, your boy Brian 25. This would be my old Twitter handle. Tell me what is better, filling your needs or getting the best player on the board. Other than quarterback, I understand if you have a quarterback and you have your franchise quarterback, 49ers, New England, maybe even the Giants, they have their quarterback. Other than your quarterback, you have your quarterback. Other than drafting quarterbacks, the best player on the board, do you draft the best athlete or do you go and draft players that you think are the best in your needs? To me, it's a catch-22, and it's one of those things you got to wait to see. But I do like Denzel Ward at Ohio State. I think he was a great corner, but I just wasn't sure why they didn't go and get Bradley Chubb, I should say, defensive end at NC State. He was the best available defensive player on the board. I think he would have played really good playing next to their number 1 pick last year. I just see it being the thing in Cleveland. Let's get the best player that we think is the best player in the position we need to fill instead of going and get the best athlete. They went and got, they went and got a center. They did get a defensive end in round 3, Chad Thompson out of Miami. They went and got two inside linebackers in round 4 and 5. They got a wide receiver. They got another defensive back. But I don't think Baker Mayfield is going to be. I think they botched the number 1 pick overall again. Sam Darnold, he's 6'3", 6'4", 200-something pounds. Someone like that can handle the weather. Look at that division. Look at all the big quarterbacks. Flacco, big, strong guy. Because they play in Cleveland, they play in Pittsburgh, they play in Baltimore, they play in these cold climate cities. Ben Roethlisberger, big, strong. When you live in a non-coastal team, when you're not in San Francisco, L.A., San Diego, now San Diego's L.A. again, but Florida, if you're not a coastal team, you got to get, you're just not getting the big, strong guy that can handle the weather. I just don't think Baker Mayfield. Now, I like the number 2 pick. The number 2 pick was probably the best pick on the board. I think it's going to give that whole NFC division, the East, a little bit of problem. The Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia, a little bit of problem. But they went and got running back out of Penn State, Saquon Barkley. I think this guy's the best player on the board. He should have been the number 1 pick in my opinion. I wouldn't have been mad if Cleveland would have picked him. But what it does, it showed Eli Manning that we're riding with you. We believe in Eli. We trust in Manning. Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, and now probably one of the best running backs to come out of the draft in a very long time, in Saquon Barkley. That really opened. They went and got some. They still have issues on the offensive line, but they went out and they made some free agent moves in offensive line. But I like Saquon Barkley. He fills a major hole and a big void. The Giants haven't had a Pro Bowl kind of running back since Tiki Barber. They haven't had anybody over there to help a good running game opens up the passing game. It's going to help Eli. It's going to help Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham. I think that was a great pick for the New York Giants, and I think that team just got better on the offense side of the ball. Getting a good running back, really, when you have a defense, offensive line, a great quarter. I don't know if Eli's great, but a good quarterback, and you got a good wideout. It really opens up the game and it helps a lot of people. So now Sam Darnold, I'm not a believer in yet. I think he's athletic. I think he's good. He's mobile outside the pocket. Has a strong arm. He's a skilled passer. At 6'3", 221 pounds, he really seems to. 20 minutes left. I think the Jets needed that quarterback. Absolutely needed that quarterback. No doubt about it. And they got the best quarterback in their eyes. I like Mason Rudolph, who went later, and I like Josh Rosen, who went later. And I like Josh Allen. I like all these quarterbacks more than I like Sam Darnold, but I think they went with the safe route there. Defense has been given back to the Denver Broncos and getting Bradley Chubb, defensive end, out of NC State. That defense just got stronger. It's a huge upgrade. Von Miller will be playing on the other side. Bradley Chubb was the best edge rusher on that board, and they went to a team. They're still, the quarterback position is still iffy over there. We'll see how it goes on the offense side of the ball. But that defense in Denver, and we all know, I'm a strong believer that defense wins games, and that's the right thing. Now, how much time do I got left? Because I got to kind of. Okay, I'm good. The Colts, they didn't get a quarterback. They spent a lot of money on Andrew Luck. They seem to believe in Andrew Luck. He hasn't played. He's missed the last 28 games over the last 3 seasons. But they went out and got a guard. I think that's a good move for them. He might be the cleanest, best guard in the draft as far as being the less coachable needed. He was highly sought out, and Quentin Nelson, I should tell you, out of Notre Dame guard, they went and got someone to protect Andrew Luck, protect their man. Josh Allen, very good pick. That's who I went to. That's the other quarterback I could not forget that went to the AFC East. Sam Darnold went to the Jets. Josh Allen out of Wyoming went to the Bills. They're all getting these quarterbacks. Tom Brady's getting older. They know the era's coming to an end, and it doesn't seem to be on paper any backup plan in New England. So they went and got these quarterbacks to think about the future. They're thinking about when Brady retires in 2-3 years, when he retires, or maybe after this season. Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, they already got their young quarterback, and they're going. I like Josh Allen. I wouldn't have been mad if he went first. I think he's better than Baker Mayfield. I believe he was the best quarterback in the draft. Overall, I think the Bills made a great move in getting this pick. I'm going to I'm going to go straight to the 49ers. I got a lot to say about my 49ers here. I know people are waiting on me on Facebook and my podcast. Now, I did my pre-draft, mock draft, whatever you want to call it, and I thought for sure they'd go defensive side. I thought they would get a linebacker. I thought they would get, someone on the defense side of the ball to help that defense. I thought they would get Rokon Smith out of Georgia. I didn't see them. I didn't even see. Let me take that back. Let me rewind. Pump the brakes. I'm lying to you. I kind of had a thought that they would go offensive line. They just paid $137 million and gave up their second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, what do you do when you buy a house? When you buy a car? When you get white shoes? The white shoes, you buy a shoe protector. You clean it. Buy a house, you get an alarm system. Buy a car, tinted windows alarm system. So that's what they 49ers did. They went and got the best tackle in the draft, Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame. Now, at first I was like, why? I was kind of shocked. I thought to go defense side of the ball. But then I started thinking about it. Very good pick. 6'7", 309 pounds. Like I said, they're protecting their $137 million man. I'm trying to read my notes and look at you at the same time. With Trent Brown coming off a shoulder injury, and he will be a free agent at the end of this year. Joe Staley being 34 years old, they needed someone to anchor down the offense. Joe Staley on one side, and you're going to have McGlinchey on the other side. Now, there was talks that, after trading Trent Brown, the 5th round pick to the Patriots for a 3rd round pick Friday morning, McGlinchey figures, the 49ers figured that is that how you say his name? McGlinchey? Figures he'll step right in and take over. I still love this pick. With Brown gone, the Niners still have Joe Staley at left tackle. Staley is, one of the best tackles. He's a top-notch offensive lineman in the league, but he's going to be 34 in August. So the age is getting up there for offensive linemen. And McGlinchey being the first tackle taken out of the draft, it shows a lot. I absolutely love this pick. I think it was the right pick to do. At first I was surprised. I was a little taken back. Is he right? Is this the good move? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me check my time here. Okay. I'm on a time limit, Joe. Don't forget to check out Guru Energy Drink. Organic. All organic. Energy now. No crash later. So, I think with Staley and McGlinchey, I think that solidifies. They made moves in the offseason. They went and got a center. They went and got a guard. Like I said, when you buy a new car, you tint the windows. You get a nice alarm system. You buy a house, you go and get an alarm system because you want to protect your investment. 49ers put $137 million into Garoppolo. You best believe they're going to spend money or go and get an alarm system that protects their investment, which I'm 100% okay with. Now, their number 2 pick I actually like as well. Dante Pettis, wide receiver out of Washington. The guy plays all over the field. He doesn't just play wide receiver. He could play in the slot. He could play outside, which it's adding pieces. It's spreading out the offense. 6'1", 195 pounds. Not a big, strong guy. Fast, good hands, great slot receiver. He could, like I said, he'll probably play a lot of slot position with Marquise Grissom and did I say Marquise Grissom? Oh my God, I'm thinking baseball. I'm thinking early 2000 Giants there. Marquise Goodwin and Pierre Garçon as being the main wideouts, and you add the speedster in there. Pettis also was NCAA record holder with 9 career punt return for touchdowns, which he's going to step in and fill that spot right away. I like this pick. I thought they would. The first 2 picks were obviously offense. I thought they would go defense, but I like the pick because he's not projected to be, you know, some superstar wide receiver. He's not going to be some, you know, Randy Moss, you know, kind of wide receiver. They have their receivers, the receivers that we have. They're going to go and get, they went and got Pettis to play the slot, special teams, and it's going to help Garoppolo. They're all the first 2 picks of the 49ers were to get Garoppolo, to help Garoppolo, I should say, get Garoppolo help on the offense side. Now, I think you're right. I think Pettis, maybe he could have been around later in the rounds, and they could use that 2nd round pick. I don't know if he's worthy of the number 44 overall pick, but like I said earlier, what do you think? Do you get the best player available on the board? The most, you know, almost for sure thing. There's no for sure thing in the NBA, in the NFL, obviously, but do you go and get the best player on the board for your team? Or do you go and get the best player at the position that fills your needs? So, yeah, Dante Pettis may not be worthy of a 2nd round, number 44 pick overall. I don't see him being a superstar, but he's going to be very he's going to fit this offense, that the style of offense that Mike Shanahan runs. That Shanahan runs, I think Shanahan runs a very complex offense. It's not a cut and dry, understand it the first day kind of offense. That's what impressed me about Garoppolo too. He took in this offense that it took Matt Ryan a few years to develop to become MVP status. So he fits into the scheme, and I think the Niners went the number 2 pick. Maybe they rushed it at the Pettis pick, but I still like the kid. I think he's in the fill the need. Like I said, 6 foot, 195 pounds. Obviously, not a huge guy. So you know, I think he would have been around the 3rd pick in the 3rd round, I should say. In round 3, they did go get a linebacker. Now I don't know much about this Fred Warner out of BYU. I thought they would go defense early, offense second. I'm just not sure. I'm not going to speak on this guy. 6'3", 236 pound. Seemed to be a good linebacker. I don't watch a lot of BYU football in college, so then they went in the 3rd round. They with their number 95 pick overall, 95th pick overall, I should say. They went and got Travis Moore, defensive back out of Southern Miss. Now that kid I like. I have watched Southern Miss games, and I like Travis Moore. Again, was he worthy of a 3rd round pick? Yet to be seen. But I do like the first 2 picks. I'm just checking my time here again. I don't know if they're building. Let me rewind here. This energy drink's getting to me. Let me just say this: the 49ers finally have a franchise quarterback, which we haven't had in years. Alex Smith definitely not. Jeff Garcia definitely not. Jeff Garcia played good though, but we haven't had one since Young. I mean, we thought Kaepernick was the answer. The guy, his play digressed. Now he's not in the NFL, which he should be. That's another show. But they haven't had in San Francisco, fans in San Francisco, the organization, football fans. San Francisco hasn't had this kind of excitement or build up in a quarterback since the Young era. Jeff Garcia played well. You know, Trent Dilfer obviously not a great quarterback. You know, we had struggles with Alex Smith. I'm not an Alex Smith believer. I think that guy is, you know, a whole different another show. I'll talk about that again. But I just think that with Garoppolo, they're giving him the best weapons available. Offensive tackle, they solidified offensive line. The running game is still in question. They went and got a good slot speedster receiver. You know, so when you build a team, like I always say, you build from the in out. You know, you get your core, you get your general manager, your head coach. Those guys got to work together. They got to be a team. They got to be a family. It's a marriage. Then you get your quarterback. Once you get those three rolling, then you start. They build up the offensive line, the defensive side. You know, the interior, the front seven of the defense. Then they start working their way out. And I think Pettis may not be worthy of a number 1 pick, but I think he fits the system very well here. I'm going to talk about the Buccaneers to my Sports Jungle fans out there. I like what pick they made at the number 12 place spot. Can't move. I like Vita Vea, defensive tackle out of Washington. The Bucks struggled on the defense side of the ball. The Bucks only had 22 sacks last season, last in the NFL. Vita Vea, I'm not even trying to say his real name. Paired with Gerald McCoy, other defensive tackle, that's going to be a really strong front right there. And like I said, they only had 22 sacks last year. They picked the best player on the board at that time, I feel, and they got the best player available in the position they needed. I like that move. They also got Ronald Jones out of USC in the second round. They went and got 2 cornerbacks. They went and got 4 defensive players. They went and got another wide receiver. I liked what they're building in Tampa Bay. Vita Vea and Gerald McCoy, those 2 defensive tackles are going to be a great duo in Tampa Bay. Let me check my time again. Got about 3 minutes. Let me move along to the Oakland Raiders, the Bay Area guys. Had a bad draft, guys. Oakland Raiders had a bad draft. I gave them a C- on the grade. I haven't talked about grades, but I gave them a C-. Getting a lineman was a surprise. I thought they'd go defense. I think their defense needs a lot of help. They had a very good offensive line. At times I said they're probably the second best or the top 3 offensive lines in the NFL. But their weaknesses were tackles at the tackle position. That was their Achilles heel. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And now they went and got Colton Miller out of UCLA. I don't know if he's the best tackle out of the draft, some people said. But the Raiders' defense is what needed help. And they didn't get any help on the defense side of the ball. I thought they would get Tremaine Edwards, linebacker out of Virginia Tech, who was still available. I thought him playing with Khalil Mack, that would have been a great. I can't believe Tremaine Edwards slipped to the 16th spot. Raiders kept making trades. They went and drafted a punter. They did make a trade and get a wide receiver from Pittsburgh. I can't remember his name. Oh, yeah, because he's not that great. So, Raiders didn't have a very good draft. I can't believe they drafted a punter. Punters are available a dime a dozen. I think the Raiders had one of the bad drafts that they had in a long time. Well, that's the Raiders for you. Everyone believes in Gruden. Everyone thinks Gruden's some great head coach. Prove to me where he's been great. Yeah, he won a Super Bowl with a team that wasn't his. The team that was handed to him. It's like, here's the keys to the fastest car on the track. All you got to do is drive it. That's what I say about good old George Seifert in San Francisco was, he was handed the best keys to the fastest car, and all he had to do was drive it. Thank you guys for joining me on the OST debate dispute controversy with your boy Brian. Tweet at me at your boy Brian25. Also, again, I Can't stop promoting this. Check out Guru Energy Drink. See it right there on Facebook Live. It's all organic. Energy now, crash later. Find the podcast side on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher. You can also, if you have an Alexa or a Google, just tell them to search for it. Just say search for the Opinionated Sports Talk Show. And I'll see you guys next week. More basketball. I don't know if I'll talk much football, but I will talk a lot of basketball coming up. Thank you guys for joining me. See you guys.